God works in mysterious ways, and the power of the internet is real. I'm at the point in my life where I need a kidney transplant to survive and to keep going. I have a lot of goals in my life. I have a lot more things to achieve and succeed. I'm not a quitter, I'm a winner. And I have a winner's mentality, and I always get what I want. And I'm at the point in my life where to save my life, I need a kidney. I need a kidney transplant. When it's crazy to say to me, you know, it's crazy for me to think about, and it's crazy for me to digest this information, and it's crazy for me to, because kidney disease is a silent killer. So you don't feel it like all the time, but when you talk to a doctor, they tell me things like, I've never felt like a normal person a day in my life. I have no idea what real energy is. I have no idea what normal is. They tell me all the time. It's crazy that, you know, just that it's crazy. But I don't live that victim mentality that, you know, this is wrong with me and I'm going to live this way. So I don't let it affect my life. And I've never been like that. So I have a very positive mindset. I have a very positive outlook on life, and I just keep on going. And I'm at that point in my life where I need a kidney transplant. It's crazy. My kidneys are only functioning at 12%. So my body is filled with toxins. My blood is not being filtered. It's insane. It's insane when you actually look it up. But I don't know. I've been not wanting to make this video, but I need a kidney transplant. And you could be on a list for 5 years, and then you can go on dialysis, and you can go on, and it's just, it could get crazy. And I've had some of the best people ever already get tested to donate to me, and I'm so thankful, but they got denied. So now I'm back to square one, to where I do need a kidney transplant and to save my life. And it's Temple University. They take care of you for the rest of your life. They're the best. 215-707-8889. 215-707. I feel like this is an infomercial. 215-707-8889. I would be so grateful for this video to be shared, and maybe let God and the internet do what it does, and maybe I can get a kidney transplant. Thank you so much.
Man, you don't understand. As a black person, you should join the fight against ICE. You should hop in the fight against ICE, man, because they coming for you. This is a fight for you too. This is a fight for you too. Where's the fight for her? Huh? Where's the fight for her? Where the fight for her? No fight at all? Where the fight? Where the fight for her? Where the fight? Come on, man. Where the fight? Please tell me. Where's the fight? Huh? What am I supposed to be? Y'all not fighting for them. You ain't fighting for her. You ain't fighting for her. You ain't fighting for none of them. Nope. You ain't fighting for them. Nope. Not. But you want me to defend these horrible individuals right here. Just defend them. Defend these individuals. Child abusers, drug traffickers, sex traffickers. I mean, like, come on, bro. Because y'all really trying to have another George Floyd situation. That's why y'all want us out there so bad. So that one of them ICE officers could off one of us. But what's crazy is y'all not even worried about the ones that's getting murdered by the very people y'all defending. So y'all really don't care about us. Y'all never did. You just want us to be another one of your mascots for another one of your wicked, foolish, crazy, demonic agendas. And we not gonna be, we ain't fooling with that no more. God bless America. God bless the earth. God bless Donald Trump. And hey, God bless my enemies. Love y'all too. Peace.
These kids in Iran and their families and women are being run over by trucks, being executed, being killed in hospitals, being raped, beaten over the head till they die. Young girls that are just singing for solidarity of their nation, for freedom, are being executed. There's 30, 40, 50, we don't know how many thousands, how many people being tortured. Coming from Albania, and my family and friends were tortured, attacked, jailed because of communism. Afterwards, the war with Serbia against us in Kosovo, and our family and our friends jailed, tortured, killed women and children because they had no weapons. We can never give our guns up in America because of what goes on around the world. We see it. We see what's going on with the sick Islamic movement of the beat up singing. Just want to walk back Iran, please. So I'm back again. Betrayal. One more week. Follow me. Hit the subscribe button. Questions. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I answer most of the questions. I try to, and my team does. And back to betrayal. Today's show is going to be on the paperwork for another guy that testified against me, claimed to be a good friend of Carmine Agnello, the Gottis, and he knew me very well since college. His name was Meatball in school in the University of Tampa when I played baseball, became my roommate, and later on he had the nickname called the Weasel. Obviously, you know why we call him the Weasel, Timmy Donovan. So when Timmy Donovan, let me give you a setup of who Timmy Donovan is. From school and afterwards, he comes from Bergen, New Jersey, very wealthy kid. His father was pretty wealthy. His brother George was a really good friend of mine over the years. Unfortunately, he passed away. And Timmy was known to be a finagle, a weasel. I didn't see him for years. His girlfriend at the time was a girl, Karen. I won't say her last name. We're still friends. It's not important. She owned restaurants, lived in Long Beach Island. And on my honeymoon in the late 80s, I ran into her at the Hotel Hyatt with her husband, Michael. And we continued our friendship. And she put me back in touch with Timmy Donovan. So Timmy, I met again, I guess around 89 again. And he asked me eventually to support him in the parking business. His father was very wealthy, but wouldn't give him a penny. Obviously, he was a screw up. So his father didn't want to give him any money. Timmy was always finagling people, beating people for money. He had a bad reputation. He ends up getting married to a girl named Corey. Again, from New York, Long Island. I knew her family forever. Her uncles were captains in the Gambino family. Jerry and Wahoo, they were partners. Actually, one of them, they were from the Bronx, one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet, especially in the mob world. They were gentlemen, soft-spoken, great guys. And Timmy eventually screws Corey over. They bought a bar called The Hideaway with Corey's family's money. So again, Timmy always hooks up with girls that have money. In college, he was an ugly guy, to be honest. He had big googie glasses on, and he was fat, couldn't get any girls. The only one he met from childhood was Karen, and later on, Karen left him. And he had all kinds of operations. He had a couple nose jobs. He had a facial operation. He was taking drugs to slim down. He had a coke issue. So now you have the background of him. He asks me at the time to go into the parking business, and he needed money. He had a couple lots at the time. And we get friendly again, and I give him money, and I'm backing him in the parking business. And he starts selling out parking lots that I gave him money for to several guys. One of them was Billy Hart. There was a friend of his that I later on meet and become very good friends with Billy also. Billy gets in trouble, goes to jail, in and out of jail several times. He's a Boston guy. And Timmy does the usual, beats Billy, starts screwing me with money, sells a lot we had at Donatello's to another guy for $5,000. Another good guy, actually, guy got in a limousine business, and Timmy sold out these lots to several different people at the same time with promises that he'd give them another lot, and did back deals and so on. He ends up getting caught up in bookmaking business, drug business, loan shark business. And under oath,
he lies, like most. He decides to testify for Gotti in his trial and to testify against me in mine because I went after him. I went after him when he did some back-end deals behind my back. He told the government on the stand that he wasn't involved with any gangsters, which was a lie. He ran to Jerry and Wahoo when he had problems with me. His wife's family were, like I said, the uncles of his wife. Later on, she divorces him also, and he fights her for the hideaway that he didn't put up a penny. His wife's family did, Corey, which she wins and gets to keep her own bar. Later on, he marries another girl who's in the movie business where Timmy jumps in on her lap also for money and starts running a smut. In under oath, he says he's in the film business, but leaves out the part that he was filming smut movies. He also leaves out the part that he was around a gangster, John George from Pittsburgh, who was in and out of jail, and he used him as a strong arm, collecting bookmaking money, debts, loan and sharking. And you're talking about a soft guy here. The guy also was never met any girls, and then he started, after all his operations, losing weight. He took his glasses off and started wearing contacts, wore long hair, started dyeing his hair grayish color, grayish black, and became sort of a playboy. Drove, sports cars, Porsches. So you have an idea of this guy. And now I'll go to his testimony. Good morning, Mr. Donovan. Can you pull up the microphone? And he does. And they ask him, why are you wearing sunglasses? And he uses an excuse that his glasses broke and he's getting them fixed, and we'll move on from there. And they ask him again, how long have you known John, meaning me? And he says, from college, and we got back together and we got into the parking industry. While we're in the parking business, he sees the Springer brothers, who I know very well. We still maintain a good friendship. Two good guys, Dean and Danny. I buy the glass shop from them, and later on I resell it back to them, and we maintain friendships. While I had the glass shop when I bought it, we had another partner, Marco Zoni. Marco was friends with the boss of Tampa at the time, Trafficking, who was connected with Cuba. So me and Marco bonded. We had a good relationship. He put up money in the glass business. I put up money in the glass business. The only problem we had in the glass business was Timmy Donovan didn't put up a penny. As the business is moving forward, we're putting all kinds of money. We're fixing the building because the building was run down. And we're putting in, initially my investment was about 75 to 100,000. Marco put in a little more than me. Marco couldn't take Timmy in the building anymore because Timmy was riding around a quad in our building, playing around because he had no money invested. He thought it was a game. He's selling marijuana, pot at that time out of our building with hundreds of pounds. And Marco complained to me. I didn't know about it because I was in and out of town from New Jersey and New York in those days. And I had a conversation with Timmy. And I said, what the fuck are you doing? We're running a business here. The building was about, at that time, around 350,000. So Timmy looked at our money like no big deal because it isn't his money. He didn't have a penny. He didn't have a pot to piss in. His father, again, was very good friends with Marco, but yet his father wouldn't bankroll his own son because he knew he was a fuck up. And again, they called him the Weasel for a reason. And as this is continuing, as we're moving forward, Timmy starts selling other drugs, ecstasy and different things. And so Marco had enough of them. And Marco says, John, before I get locked up for things I have nothing to do with, I'm getting out of this business. Now, at the time, we all used to go to Donatello's. It was an Italian restaurant, well known in our circles from street guys. Legitimate place, guys from Italy, but they knew a lot of guys, and we'd go there and hang out. Late at night after the place closed, guys would hang out, drink coffee, and Timmy would be bragging to people that he's involved with gangsters. And he started using my name to push guys around in Tampa. and he started using my name to push in onto other lots without my permission. Me and Marco, hot with Timmy. We don't want nothing to do with him, and Marco asked me to buy him out, and I buy Marco out because he didn't want to have anything to do with Timmy anymore. So I give Marco whatever it was at that time. I don't recall exactly, probably around 150,000. And now I own the building by myself. I bring in family members to run my glass shop. I open up an auto glass building in Tampa, and I also open up house glass and commercial glass. And as time goes on, I'm checking the books what Timmy was running. We had a guy, Gerard, that was also from Jersey that Timmy knew. And I start talking to Gerard, and I said, Gerard, what's going on here? These books don't look right. And Gerard confides with me and said, listen, I don't want to argue with Timmy, but he's been taking money out on a regular basis from the business. And I said, what? Yeah, he's going into the register when we're selling window jobs, and he's taking money out. And he was floating money to bankroll his bookmaking business, to bankroll his drug habits, to bankroll whatever bills he had. When he gets on the stand and he talks to Jay Tresvan, who's the prosecutor, and they're asking him questions against me while I'm sitting in a penitentiary in Brazil, he doesn't mention that he didn't put up $1 for the parking business, that I was the money. He doesn't mention that he was John George's partner who was strong-arming people for anybody. He doesn't mention that he is not putting up any money in the glass shop, that he's selling drugs and everything else. Now, he's convicted, or he was charged, and he cooperated, and obviously this is his get out of jail free to lie about me. He does talk about my relationship with Gotti. He talks about my relationship with Carmine Agnello. He talks about us coming into Tampa and meeting out for dinner, going to Club Confetti and some other clubs, Yucatan. But everything he says is kissing their ass and then talking against me, because he thought he can go to them for protection against me, which, like most guys, they find out that if you screw me, I don't care who you go to, whether it was one of my friends or one of my enemies, I was going to go after you one way or another, which I did. I went after Timmy, and I kicked him out of the glass shop. Once I went through the books with Gerard, I told him to get out. You got nothing to do with the glass shop. And you didn't put no money in. His father tried to intervene for him, and I told his father, basically in a nice way, go fuck himself. You're the guy that's talking up for your son, but you won't put $1 up for your son. You're the guy that doesn't want anything to do with your son in the parking business, but me putting up about $500,000 while this guy's playing around with my money, selling drugs. He's riding go-karts and quads inside my building. He's banging different girls all over the place and trying to con them out of their money. And for the first time, he's getting women because he was a little fat guy. And if you look at the pictures in college, you'll see what he was. And he, again, they called him the Weasel. That wasn't me that nicknamed him that. It was his neighborhood. And then when he came to Florida, everybody in the neighborhood in Florida and Tampa started calling him the same thing. Now, while he's testifying that I strong-armed him. But he leaves out the part that I put up $500,000. He didn't put up a penny. And I was the guy that was supporting him. As his testimony goes on, he makes himself almost innocent, lies, like I said, like crazy, that he's around all these mob guys, and he's acting like he isn't. But every time he has a problem, he's ringing my phone and asking, can you come to Tampa and save me? And he had problem after problem after problem because he was sleeping with other people's wives, girlfriends. He had a big mouth, and he was a maneuver, and he owed everybody money. He's bookmaking, and he's not paying his debts. He's trying to loan money, Sharlock money, and he's overcharging guys. And if people know if you loan 10,000, 3 points, You're paying 300 a week. This guy was trying to charge people 7 points and 6 points and 8 points. And at the same time, he was selling pot and other drugs, and he got into cocaine himself. So when he got caught in a lot of these scams, I guess the government approached him. And when they approached him, he started to talk. And when he started to talk, he changed the facts around. And those facts obviously weren't in my behalf. And he started talking about how he met me and what he thought he knew about me, that he was my roommate in college. And after that, when I ran into him through his ex-girlfriend, how we started doing business together. So at about 1990, a place Yucatan opens up next to the dollhouse. And Timmy comes to me and says he needs my help. There was a guy, Edgar, that was running it. He wanted to give him kickbacks, and he wanted me to talk to him. It was big money, and the dollhouse was big money. He already had the dollhouse, but they needed the second lot to get the overflow. So I started getting more involved in the business, and he says to me, listen, I don't realize the money that's in it at this point. And he says, listen, I'll get you a Mercedes. The car was $750, I think, a month at that time in the late 80s. I'll pay for that. You just help me with the rest of this stuff. And I start coming into Tampa more often. And as we're expanding, and now I understand how much money is being made at Yucatan. I understand how much money is being made at the dollhouse. I know the money that I had at the window shop. Now I'm backtracking because I have both places at the same time. In a couple of years, I throw them out of the window shop so people understand the time frame. But prior to me throwing out of that, me and Timmy are traveling. We're going to Mexico. We're flying around. I'm making money outside of this. I've got a ton of money. He has no money. I have houses in 3 states. I own about 16 properties. And I ran through these properties before in other shows, everything I owned. And excuse me, I own the building on 805 West Hillsborough. Later on, I opened up some nightclubs in Tampa, Florida. But Timmy wants to expand. So he wants to go down to Delaware Avenue in Philadelphia. And I take him down there. And at the time, John Stanford and Joey Molina were at war with each other back and forth in the 90s. And I start taking over lots there. I have meetings with guys. And I start taking over lots in Delaware Avenue in Philadelphia. I have the Aztec Club. I have all of them. There's a guy that has Kathmandu, and he opens one in New York City also. Timmy asked me if I can get us in there, which I do. I start expanding us into other states. And we're making, now he's giving me a couple more bucks. And I said, Timmy, I need to see the books. And that's when I got to backtrack to Gerard, because when Gerard's running, he's an accountant. He's running my books at the glass shop. And he starts showing me the books that Timmy was keeping in the parking company without Timmy knowing. And I realized the money he's making. And I realized what he's giving me is pennies. And I see the money he's stealing. So now I know Timmy's been beating me. The opposite of what he tells when he's sitting on the stand with the government. He leaves out all the parts of his drug enterprise, his bookmaking business. And I don't know exactly what he got locked up for with the government, but he's not truthful about all the guys he's around, all the mob guys that he met through me, all the mob guys he's around prior to me, including John George, who he has hurting different people from. He has another guy, Big Richie, that later on is also involved in shakedowns and different things in Chicago. They asked me to go to Chicago and take care of a problem he had there with another wise guy there. So not only am I taking care of all these problems in Tampa, we expand the parking company to other states. And once I get a hold of the books and I see what he's doing, I know that he's robbing me. I tell him, you're out of the glass shop. Maybe 6 months later, he brings a guy, Richie, to, I don't know what made him think that Richie could tell me what to do. And Richie's says he's involved with different guys from different mob families. And he was involved with Chicago. So I go to Richie's house and I threaten Richie. And I tell Richie, mind your business or I'm going to hurt you real bad. I even think I said I was going to kill him. I don't remember, but Richie backed down. Once Richie backed down, I went to see John George. And John George was a guy, again, tough guy, in shape, but Timmy was feeding him pennies. So John George didn't want a problem like that. And John George started distancing himself a little bit from Timmy. And then I told Timmy, now, as things elevated from there, I said, now you're out of the parking business too. I'm taking over the parking business. I put up all the money. You didn't put up anything. You wouldn't have these clubs if it wasn't for me. And I expanded into Daytona, into Orlando. I picked up Rachel's and some of the other strip clubs. As some of this goes on, Timmy starts discussing with other people. He starts reaching out, and one of the people he reaches out to when he comes, he met them through me, is Carmine Agnello. He goes to his body shop in the junkyard in Jamaica. And when I found out, I says, Timmy, you're going to leave Tampa now too. And Timmy says, oh, I'm not going anywhere. I says, no, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you're leaving Tampa. And, you know, we went back and forth, and then he threatened to go to the law at that time. And I told him, you know, back in those days, I didn't care who you went to. I said, you could go anybody you went. You could go to Wise Guys, you could go to Friends, you could go to the Gambino family, but you're done here in Tampa. And at first, he didn't want to leave. He ends up opening up the Hideaway with Corey at this time, and a guy gives him some beating at the Hideaway, and he gets a concussion. He gets knocked out. He's in the hospital for a college kid, I believe, beat him up. He thought I sent the guy for some reason, but I didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't even know what the guy beat him up over. It could have been over him sleeping with the guy's girlfriend, and for all I know, because this is what he was doing. He was making up for the times where he couldn't meet a girl. As this is going on, I gave him his final warning. He was getting divorced from Corey, and he was trying to fight her legally in court. And her uncles also gave him a warning. You better forget about that and leave that club alone, which my final warning was, and I sent a couple of guys, I says, go get him, slap him around, which they did. And if he doesn't leave after that, I want you to hurt him bad. And I bring in two guys from New York, one guy from Orlando, and I told him, give him a flat tire. So when he's driving, I had 2 car loads. I says, and when he gets out to fix the car, cap him in his ass and his legs. So they give him the flat tires, and they try to shoot him, and Timmy jumps in his car, and they miss him. They shoot up the car. I don't know how they missed him. I wasn't there. They miss him. He jumps in the car. He crashes his car. And when he's trying to get away, he panics. And I believe he went to the police. That was the first time he went to the police. And he moves out of Tampa finally. And then he starts calling my lots. And he's trying Stinger's lot. He tries to call the owner. And the general manager at the time was a guy named John. I had a good relationship with him. And John rather do business with me. I was a businessman. Timmy was a fuck up. He was always taking money from there. He's always finagling. He had a Bentley that was there that was wrecked. He didn't pay for the damage. So as soon as I came in and took over, I gave him the money for the Bentley. I gave him money for the lawsuits. I changed the company over to another company. I took care of the managers, and I started running the company like a real company. And I started picking up more lots without him. And the more I was growing, the more people told me, thank God that you took over, because we were going to get rid of him anyway. He didn't stop stealing. He didn't stop playing games. He was finagling with the bartenders on getting free drinks, sending girls in, selling drugs. Everything you shouldn't be doing in business, he was doing. So now we'll go back into the trial. As I'm in Brazil in 2004, 5, and 6, I'm in the penitentiaries in Brazil, and Timmy Donovan gets on the stand, and he testifies that he went out to dinner with me and John Gotti Jr., and he testifies to some of the things I just told you, that he got friendly with Carmine. He was trying to get friendly with Gotti Jr. As I'm having disagreements with Gotti and the Gambino family going into the 90s, Donovan thought he would get coverage from them. And he attempts to get friendly with them, and he finds out the hard way. Eventually, they tell him, get lost. They didn't want the headache with me. They had enough headaches with me going after their guys. At that time, I shot my cousin, Nicky Pasquale, for running also to the Gambino family. I stabbed up Joe O'Kane twice. Once I was there, and another time I sent guys. I shot a guy, Stevie Newell, that was around him. I robbed their bookmaker and Ronnie Wonham's bookmaker, Keith Croce, and Big Bobby out of Valley Stream. I put Richie Gotti's son-in-law in the hospital pretty bad. I had him set up by a made guy from the Bonanno family on the side of the Belt Parkway. We killed Johnny Gebbett, and I was on a roll to keep going after everybody. And as this is going on, they didn't want nothing to do with Timmy Donovan. He was just bringing another headache to him. So they chased Timmy Donovan. So at that time, I think that's when he goes to the government, when he got caught, or I think he might have just gave up what he was doing to the government so they would help him in prosecuting me. So I was sitting in those penitentiaries in Brazil. These guys are testifying on behalf of the Gambino family, but testifying against me. And again, me being in the prisons in Brazil, there was nothing I can really do to hurt him, kill him, or go after him anymore. I sent a couple of messages when I end up getting out of the Brazil penitentiaries. Don't think that you can hide from me. I'm coming for you. And at that time, he was in the porn business with a new girl who had some money, younger girl, and like he always does, he bullshitted her and got involved with her, took over a company, and turned it into a smut company and whatever else he was doing. He had another guy, Mike Villa, that he was friendly with, also in the advertisement business. At one time, he screwed him over also. So this is his MO. He goes after people that have businesses and money, tries to get friendly with them, then tries to screw them out of their businesses. As the trial goes on, Timmy starts testifying about individuals that he knows, like my ex-brother-in-law. And when I was in Fort Lauderdale, I was in Pompano, I had a problem with 3 bouncers, and I stabbed one of them in the throat. I stabbed the other guy. I got locked up on the scene. So Timmy testifies at trial that I was locked up for these, I think I got charged with initially assault and attempted murder. My lawyer at the time was Richie Raybach, who was also John Gotti, senior's attorney, who John sent them down to Florida to handle the case for me. One of the guys ends up testifying on my behalf, saying that they started the altercation with me, and he didn't want no part of it because his lawyer talked to Richie Raybach, my lawyer, and he told him, is Gotti Sr. Sending you guys down to handle this law case? And Richie Raybach told him yes. And since then, they backed off the case. Eventually, it was just thrown out as a disorderly or something like that because their witnesses wouldn't come forward. So Timmy's testifying to the stuff that he was there. He leaves out the part that he says he wasn't in the bar, so he lies. He was there at the bar. I did get locked up right on the premise by on-duty cops that work the clubs. In Florida, they work the clubs in uniforms, but they're off-duty. They pinched me right on the spot. I had a ton of blood all over me, obviously, from the stabbing. The guy ends up having several operations but lives. I hit him in the jugular. As the testimony continues, he talks about, after that incident, how he was afraid because he knew what I was capable of. He had conversations with other Gambino members talking about the violence I was committing, that I was used to do the violence for the crew, and his knowledge of any kind of violence that he thought I had to do with. He brings up clubs like Wurlitz's in Sayreville, that he had the lot, wasn't making money. I bought that lot off him also. He leaves that part out. He says that he made a deal with me to give me that lot. It wasn't making money because he wasn't there. Not true. It wasn't making any money until I took it over because he didn't know how to run a business. So he had no business sense. He was just grabbing money as it came in and spending it at will and in debt everywhere. Again, this is why the father wouldn't put up money for him. And this is why people called him the Weasel, because he was almost childlike. He didn't have any respect for anything because he never had to work. He came from a wealthy family. Uh, then later on, he starts talking about the hideaway. He doesn't mention Jerry and Wahoo, that his wife at that time, his ex-wife, his family are captains in the Gambino family. I knew them very well. I had a lot of respect for him. I liked him. They learned what kind of guy he is. And like I said earlier, they warn him also that if he keeps it up, he's going to get killed or hurt. So eventually his welcome was he just wasn't welcomed anywhere, and he was chased. And because of his attempt to get back at me, he figures he'll testify and try to get back at me by getting me a life sentence. And he testifies about what we did at the hideaway, which I didn't have any business with them at drugs. I did sell drugs. Let me not get this wrong. I just didn't sell them down in Tampa. My drug business was up in Jersey, Philadelphia, New York, in those areas, and it was I wasn't really in the marijuana business. I was in the coke business. I was in the heroin business with Gotti Sr., Angelo Ruggiero, Sonny DiGiorgio at Rikers Island through guys that we had hooked there. We had a black sergeant there, and we had Bobby Borriello's cousin that was a captain at Rikers. At that time, he introduced me to other guards at that prison. And I'm not saying that he was crooked. He just introduced me to other guards that I end up working with us. I wasn't in the heroin trade. The Gotti regime and DiGiorgio asked me to move those drugs into Rikers Island, which I had another guy, Charlie Chrissy, that was also a sergeant that was good friends with ours. His younger brother stayed with me and was one of the shooters that shot Johnny Gebbett earlier on in years. Didn't kill him, but shot him in the chest, neck, shoulder, and he lived later on. We shoot him up again and kill him. So we expanded between those areas, the drug business, Tampa and New York, and Timmy Donovan's testimony has tried to rewrite history of what went on. He starts bringing up Terry Scaglione, whose grandfather was also a trafficking, made guy in the Gambino family. Terry and Timmy were friends at first. Later on, they had a falling out, and Terry was also an informant against me. I spoke about him in other pages where he paid Federal Agent Woods. Terry was on a payroll for the government as a CI since the early 90s too. I believe he started around 92, 93 as an informant against me. So again, I'm going through the betrayal of these guys. They're only good to you as long as you're paying for them. They're only good to you as long as they don't get caught. They're stealing from you. And one guy after another, their testimony is built on lies and the ability to be able to say something against me when the government was after me for multiple murders, robberies, shootings, and the things that I was guilty of. I'm not saying I wasn't. I'm saying these guys are unloading their crimes on me, lying while they're testifying. And Timmy Donovan had no knowledge of who I killed or who I shot in New York. He just heard it from different people that I was the enforcer for the Gambino family, and he used it on his behalf, like he used John George, like he used Fat Richie, like he tried to use his ex-wife's uncles who didn't want anything to do with him. And he abused our friendship. He stole money. He acted like a child. Marco Zoni didn't want anything to do with them. And he broke relationships in business and personal friendships. We end up, when we expanded to Philadelphia, he did the same thing there. Shot his mouth off, tried to have mob connections there and use my name without confiding with me, and caused me headaches there. I also brought his ex-wife's brother down there to get involved and run some lots. And his ex-wife's brother didn't want nothing to do with Timmy also. At first, he liked him until he got to know him. He knew he was a weasel. He knew he would get him jammed up. And he started to stay away and didn't want anything to do with the lots because of Timmy's behavior. And, as we go through each testimony from these guys, it'll show you the betrayal and the disloyalty for somebody that didn't have 2 cents. I didn't put up $50,000 for the guy. I didn't put up $100,000. I put hundreds of thousands of dollars up for him. And at the time, we were going to open up another nightclub ourselves, which I backed out of once I got the books from Gerard, my accountant that was Timmy's friend. But Gerard was a Christian, a religious guy, a nice guy, straight-laced guy. And he was put in a bad position because he didn't want to lie to me. He was also afraid to lie to me. And also because he didn't feel right for what Timmy was doing. Just like most guys like the Dean and Danny, nobody had real respect for Timmy because he was always finagling. He didn't take business serious because he didn't need to. You're coming from a rich family, he was a spoiled kid, again, that didn't have to work hard. The rest of us came from nothing. When you come from nothing, you have a drive to work, and it's easy to throw names around like me and threaten guys using my name. And there were dozens of guys. I can't remember all the names that he threatened with me. That guys would call me up, and I'd say, you don't got to worry, I'm not going to hurt you, which I wouldn't. And I would scream at them on a constant basis. Stop threatening people with me. Stop telling people that we're going to hurt them or kill them. Stop stealing money. Stop beating guys. Stop selling lots. Like I talked about earlier, Donatello's is a lot that brought in thousands of dollars a week. And he sold the lot off for $5,000 because he wanted a couple of bucks because he's a gambling degenerate, because he was a drug addict, because he had all kinds of issues. You sold a lot that probably made $30,000 to $40,000 a year profit for years. And this went on for after us for 24 years. And you gave up that lot for $5,000. Think about how stupid, how desperate somebody would be to do that. And that's the history of Timmy Donovan in a nutshell. He's just one more guy that went up and testified to get this off his skin, off his back, where he wouldn't have a problem with prison, where he also kissed Gotti's ass, and didn't help him any. And this got him in a situation where he left where he loved, because he did love Tampa when he was there, because he was a small fish. And in Tampa, he became a big fish. He thought, and you got to remember, years ago in Tampa, it wasn't as big city as it is today. It was, I believe, the fastest growing city in America. I'm not sure where it stands now. And he started off as Diamond Valet. And like every company, he busted it out. And he didn't run it with proper insurance. He let the insurance lapse. That's why he had a problem with the Bentley. He would make fake insurance papers up and give it to the club owners. Everything you shouldn't do as a businessman. But he wasn't a businessman. He was, like I said, a spoiled kid that was, even with his brother George. His brother George used to run in Sea Caucus. He was the boss at UPS. And me and his brother got very friendly. I had a lot of respect for his brother. Different human being, just a very nice guy, not full of shit, didn't bother anybody, wasn't a bullshit artist, didn't con anybody. Very, very straight guy. And unfortunately, he died of cancer, I believe. But him and his brother didn't talk for a while because George stayed friendly with me, took my side over his brother's. And then eventually the family got on him, the father got on him. And me and George, stayed friends, hello, goodbye, but we didn't stay together anymore over Timmy crying about it. And his father, again, lost his friendship with Marco Zoni for the same reason. He took up for Timmy, and Marco told him, and Marco used to leave his house open to Timmy's father would stay with him, and said, you're the guy that won't give your son 2 cents You're the guy that knows your son's a bum. You're the guy that knows everybody calls him the Weasel, yet you're sticking up for your son. Like I told his father, if you want to open up your Yap and Trap, then you give back the $500,000. You own the parking company. You own the glass business. But if you don't want to put up the 2 cents, then get the fuck out of here and mind your business, because you're full of shit. You know what your son is. And I didn't say it as mean as that, but that's the gist of, and I said it actually politely to him. And that's it. That's the story of Timmy Donovan. Next week, I will bring up another guy that testified against me, Billy Queso, and then I will do something with Duke Mandel, and I'm going to go through their mob ties, all these guys. They're stealing, because all these guys have the same personality. None of them had money. All of them got rich off of me. None of them put money up into anything. None of them would fight. I did their fighting for them. None of them were truthful. Duke Mandel will talk about his drug case. He was one of the managers at the Dollhouse. He made his own mother the house mom in a strip club. He made his own sister-in-law a prostitute, and he pimped her out to the NFL players at the Dollhouse. So we're going to get into him. Billy Queso, same. Was all kinds of mob ties with Genevieve's family, my cousin. His partner, Chris Castellano, was murdered after he cooperated, was my cousin's drug partner. My cousin, Billy, says he was only moving 100 pounds when he was moving 1 to 3,000 pounds. He was moving cocaine. He stayed with Keith Pellegrino and Joe Kane at Stringfellows. Met his wife there, was a stripper. Bought her, actually, because of the money he was making in the drug business. Joe Kane was murdered in prison, Kane Prison, stabbed 100-something times by his cellmate for raping him. And when he got stabbed 100-something times, obviously it was very personal. And that hasn't been out. This is a guy that claimed he was a Gotti guy, which he wasn't. The truth was, Gotti hated him. I have no idea why in the media he started talking up for him. He didn't like him. He thought he was a weasel. And I won't talk about past that. It'll be on the next shows. All right, everybody. Thank you. Great seeing you. And follow me, Betrayal, on my channel. And follow me, subscribe, ask questions, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks again. See you next week.